Welcome to the Elwin channel, where you get a glimpse into our philosophy for life and design. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Leonardo da Vinci. Here's our interesting fact for today. The golden ratio is actually a thing when it comes to beautiful features and faces. Of course, we know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but when it comes to perfect proportions of the eyes, eyebrows, chin, lips, nose, temples, etc., the golden ratio face is responsible for the unique and remarkable fame of South Korean actress Song Hye-kyo. Many plastic surgeons have admitted that Miss Hye-kyo has a golden ratio face, and so naturally, women are often bringing in her pictures as a point of reference for their procedures. As we're moving along our video series on the Renaissance arts, let's review the prominent figures we've followed thus far: Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, and today it's all about Leonardo da Vinci, with their importance and timelines having nothing to do with the order in which we discussed them. In fact, out of the high Renaissance figures, Leonardo da Vinci came first before two of the figures. Born in 1452 in a small village called Anciano by the town of Vinci, Italy, he was formally named Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci, with da Vinci literally meaning of the town of Vinci. Never having received a proper or even decent education, which was obvious due to his lack of knowledge in Latin, making him stand out as looking uneducated. He was a young boy, curious enough to keep his mind occupied from sun up till sun down with questions about life, science, nature, engineering, inventions, and painting. Thus, he was a genius in his own right, with more experience and knowledge than most people could ever get out of simply reading Latin. This also meant that his extreme hunger and passion for the world around him encouraged him to become one of the top pupils of the great Florentine artist Andrea del Verrocchio. Mind you, Leo wasn't even 15 years old at the time of his enrollment. Having aided Verrocchio with the masterpiece titled The Baptism of Christ, he took a great role in painting the angel with such captivating skill. Legend has it that Verrocchio put down his brush and vowed to never paint again. Whether this is true or not, it's not surprising that under his mentorship, Leonardo improved by leaps and bounds. He became incredibly good at using oil paint as well as tempera, a mixture of powder pigment thinned out with water and egg yolk, allowing the protein to become the element that helps the painting shine with beauty for centuries to come, but also to preserve itself naturally. Having moved to Milan around the early 1480s, Leonardo was commissioned to create the beautiful Virgin of the Rocks, as well as the Last Supper on the walls of the monastery known as Santa Maria delle Grazie. Now, would you believe me if I told you that he wasn't necessarily diligent in finishing up the Last Supper? Actually, he was always struggling with meeting commission deadlines and was often frustrated with painting, not because he didn't enjoy it, but rather because he was so full of ideas and passions like engineering and mathematical subjects that he couldn't stay in one project for too long. I'm sure many of us can relate to this, right? Leonardo has so confidently grasped the concept of perspective that he was one of the few who could truly make his painting subjects jump out of the canvas. He was not only artistic, but a great geometrician, a quality that made so much of his work beautifully formulaic and perfectly proportioned. For example, take the Mona Lisa, aka La Joconde, only the greatest and most famous painting in the entire world. This masterpiece, modeled by a nobleman's wife, boasts the perfect golden ratio all throughout. Looking at the Mona Lisa's face from a vertically placed golden ratio rectangle, we see that the smallest part of the ratio begins from her nose and out to the right side of her hair, making its way up to her crown and then back down to her left through her shoulder, and then her left arm and hand, which sit gracefully onto her stomach. This method, paired with the right usage of perspective behind the Mona Lisa with the background shrinking in size, makes her stand out amongst the crowds, or should we say, among the canvases? Out of the questionable controversies that followed Leonardo, however, one of the most shocking ones is a somewhat legal at the time but still morbid practice of dissecting bodies, kind of like Michelangelo did. That's right, he wanted to understand the perfect human anatomy so well that while dissecting bodies, he sketched the Vitruvian Man, demonstrating the fascinating reality of the golden ratio of the human anatomy. Although Da Vinci didn't get to publish many paintings at all, since he put so much of his time in military engineering and literally created the first scuba dive gear, and he also had a few epic failures like his Battle of Anghiari mural painting catching on fire, he was and is considered the greatest painter in all of the history of humankind. So what are your thoughts on Leo? We hope you were inspired by today's video. Share in the comments about some surprising facts that you learned today. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive content.